Hey guys, so I had a completely different video planned for today, but in my research of doing that video, it's still going to be a psychology video, I came across something that was a little bit interesting, which I hadn't really realized that it could be kind of a controversial thing. So we're going to talk about that today. And it's going to be a little bit more of a conversation, less informational, and just kind of sharing my opinion. You share yours kind of thing going on, you know, one of those videos. Because I really don't know how to feel about this. Okay, let's just get into it, okay. So PMDD was added to the DSM-5, which is premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is basically an extreme version of PMS, and the difference is rooted in behavioral and emotional symptoms. So they both have the same kind of physical symptoms of bloating, cramping, things like that. Maybe some acne, you know, stuff going on that happens right before your period. But in a PMDD, it's severe emotional mood swings, feelings of hopelessness, depression, anxiety, irritability, anger, things like that that severely impacts your life, and you have to get treatment for it. So this was added to the DSM-5, which is obviously a book of mental illnesses. So this has kind of come under fire, claiming, you know, people are a little bit skeptical, well, why is PMS considered a mental illness now? Which, granted, it's not. PMS is not a mental illness. PMDD, however, is. So there is a difference. My video title is a little bit clickbaity, and I apologize for that, but if I put PMDD in the title, no one's gonna click on that. You know? They're very similar, but we really have to remember that there's a huge difference. PMS, anyone can say they have PMS pretty much. Like, you know, it's, oh, I'm PMSing today, I'm really emotional today, oh, I'm sad, I have acne, stuff like that. It's normal to say you have PMS on a regular basis. You can't really claim to have PMDD unless you're diagnosed by a doctor. People are claiming that now this is an excuse for men to say that women are disabled on their period, that they obviously have symptoms, you know, emotional symptoms, they can't handle certain things because they're on their period, stuff like that, which a lot of men are just really uneducated when it comes to those kind of statements. I feel like that was one of the arguments in the election when Hillary Clinton was post-menopause, but whatever, I'm not gonna get political. But I do think it's interesting how men just, you know, throw that around like, oh, she's PMSing, like she's obviously emotional. Which, yes, we get emotional. Yes, we have mood swings on our periods, and sometimes for people who are diagnosed with PMDD, it is debilitating. So first of all, let me just say, PSA to men, have a little respect for what women go through, okay? It's not fun. We don't do it so we have a reason to act like a bitch, okay? If anyone has ever gone through PMS or anything, it's miserable. But people are a little pissed off that PMDD is in the DSM now because it's an official disorder, and saying that what women go through before their period is an actual mental illness. So you can see kind of the controversy there, because probably people I don't know. Here's my thoughts on this, okay? I believe it's about time we give recognition to what actually happens before a period. And it is legitimate. I believe it to be legitimate. Is PMS a mental illness? No. PMDD? Yes, because it is a lot more extreme. The symptoms of emotional instability and just behavioral issues that happen are very legitimate and are side effects, and they look like symptoms of mental illnesses such as depression and anxiety. So why not give these women the option to say, hey, yes, I have this disorder? There's just a negative connotation to it that I think is why a lot of people are turned off by it. In addition to the word disorder, there's a negative connotation to the word PMS or period, or I don't even know. Personally, for me, when I was not on birth control, my emotional symptoms were hands down the worst part about my period. It was horrible. As soon as I went on birth control, good to go. So that is one of the treatments for this disorder, is birth control. Antidepressants actually can help as well, because the symptoms are more emotional based. They're more brain chemistry kind of based than physical, such as cramping and things like that. Those are a little bit less severe. So one of the causes that they say is a pre-existing kind of mood disorder, such as anxiety or depression. So if you already have anxiety or depression, the hormones that are going through your body pre-period are basically amplifying identifying those, so that could be one of the causes to it. Now, I'm coming from a place where I don't have any stigma towards mental illnesses, so when I think about it as a disorder, I can believe it. I understand why it was put in the DSM-5. Do you think that this is just going to give another reason for people to hate women on their period or have that stigma of women on their period? Because for me, I feel like it legitimizes it and says, hey, yeah, we go through some shit on a period. I don't know. I don't see a stigma with it personally, like coming from me. Obviously, there is a stigma out there of both mental illnesses and period stuff, women on their period. I don't know. They're just seen as unstable, so people are thinking that this is going to then legitimize men's opinions, and maybe other women too, opinions about women when they have their period. And it's not even on their period, it's 7 to 10 days before their period, but that's just getting technical. A lot of people like to assume, well, you're on your period. Yeah, they can kind of linger into that, but this kind of takes place the week before your period. So I don't know. At first I read it and I was like, you know what? That is kind of weird that it was added as a disorder, a mental illness. But I think it's actually a good thing because it'll be an answer for a lot of women who have extra severe symptoms around that time of the month, because it's not just normal PMS for them. It's not just, you know, a little bit of PMSing and then their period comes and they're fine. Sometimes it's debilitating, their mood swings are extreme, and it affects their work and personal lives. So why not give them a special category and diagnosis in the DSM where they can have an answer to what's going on and also legitimate treatments for what's going on? Because without a diagnosis, you can't really go through the process of getting treatment for it, right? So those are my thoughts on this being added to the DSM. I don't see it as a bad thing, but I'm coming from a place of no stigma towards mental illnesses. So of course, if something's added, I'm like, good for you. Now that gives some people more answers and more treatments. So, but I'd love to hear from the general audience, general public down below. Leave your comments about it, what you believe down below. If you've had experience with PMDD as well, I'd love to hear your experiences also down below. But I hope this was an interesting video. I don't know, I feel like it's so short. I'm sorry it's so short, but yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.